The truth is I f***ed it up.
Yeah. That's what I figured would happen. Matter of fact, this is probably what I'll put at the beginning of the episode. You know how I've been doing that lately? I'll just do that.
A little clip?
Yeah, just put that at the beginning.
I just realized.
Yeah, you just realized
I was like, fuck. I should have said this, but I said this. Well, oh well.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
It sounded cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. We got our intro. Yay!
Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast.
Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, Zap, and with me is my co-host.
Hey, everybody, what's up? It's your boy, TJ.
Yes, sirree. And guess what we're celebrating today?
What is that?
It is the final episode.
The final episode?
For season 3.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a great season.
Yo, it feels like it was yesterday when we created the podcast, and we're already 3 seasons in.
Yeah, it definitely was not yesterday, I'll tell you that.
I know, but for me, it feels that way.
It was definitely not yesterday, all right?
Speaking of season 3, this is a very special episode because we're going to be discussing several things. We got a lot going on.
Yeah. Oh, also, you might want to mention for the listeners that this is actually a live episode.
Yes, sir. If you're watching the recap, welcome. This is our first interactive experience for the Reset and Zap podcast. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm excited to reveal what we got going on today.
All right, so let's talk about it.
All righty. Well, we're going to start it off with our reset segment where we're going to be sharing some of our favorite episodes from season 3. Of course, I'm not going to reveal mine's quite yet, or TJ. I don't think TJ is ready to reveal it, but
not yet.
We got a couple of fun stories to share, the behind the scenes for a lot of these episodes that we've created for season 3. So that's going to be fun. Also, we're going to be transitioning shortly after to Spotlight, where I'm going to be revealing, together with good old TJ here, the origin story for the Reset and Zap podcast and how it came to be.
Yep. We're going to get some lore up in here. We're going to get some lore?
Yeah, like some hidden gems.
Oh, some Reset and Zap lore. I'm with it.
And of course, I have no idea, but you better be ready to play as TJ comes in with the finale for the Content Creator Chronicles.
Yep.
I have no idea what this man is about to ask me, so we're about to find out.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're tuning in, thank you so much for watching and listening to the Reset and Zap podcast, because it's all about resetting and being in the right mindset for what?
A new week, I think.
For a brand.
For the week.
New week.
For the Zap. Something like that. Somewhere in there.
So here at the Reset and Zap podcast, we chatted up about all things. Gaming, parenthood, work-life balance, everything in between. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're ready, like I am.
Okay.
But what are we about to do for the very last time?
Not the last time. We got a couple more left. At least in this episode, we got a couple more left.
Okay. All right.
Pew.
No, we got to do it right. Come on now.
It was a sneak attack. It was a sneak pew. I wouldn't mind that was my Assassin's Creed one.
We got to do it. Come on.
That was my hidden blade one. I was sneaking up on you with
All right. We got to duel this one, okay?
All right. Okay.
In 3, 2, 1, pew.
Pew. Thought you was going to beat me, didn't you?
I thought I really was going to beat you. All right. Are you ready? I'm ready?
For what?
Because I need to prepare you to be under the spotlight.
The light. Spotlight.
Light. We literally have 2 lights in front of us.
Yeah, literally got a spotlight right now.
So we are quite literally under the spotlight. But
I think this is the first time we actually been under the spotlight during the spotlight segment.
You know what? That's actually pretty true.
We're live and under the spotlight, so it's like literally.
We are under pressure, quite literally.
I can't.
Don't screw it up.
I forgot that song is in. I keep forgetting what's out and what's not out.
Oh God.
I almost started singing a song we haven't released yet.
Oh my God.
But it matched. But you know where I was going though, right?
Yeah,
It's all about. All right, cool.
It's good. It's all good. But
So what's up with the spotlight segment?
I just realized I inverted our segments, but that's okay. We can continue with the spotlight.
I guess we're spotlighting it now.
All right, let's start by sharing the origin story. I think we've never talked about this.
No, we have not.
Have we never?
I don't think
never
we have.
touched this.
I don't think we've ever talked about it.
So we're about to share the origin story for the Reset and Zap podcast and how it came to be, all the behind the scenes. I actually want to do this slightly different because even though I'm obviously the creator of the show, a lot of it, I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for you. So I would like for you to share your experience behind the scenes of how this came to be and what you've been mainly responsible for, because for those that do not know, this man over here is the audio engineer for the podcast.
Yes.
And also the creator for a lot of the soundtrack and music that you're listening to in post-production.
Yeah. In post-production.
Exactly.
So you want me to just go into
Yeah,
it?
go ahead. I would like for you to start, and then I'll continue with my side of the story.
Okay, well, I'll just start by describing what I do. On the podcast, like she said, I am responsible for the audio engineering. I make sure that our audio levels are good, that our mic levels are good, that everything sounds clean and as crisp as possible. I am also responsible for the background music that you hear during the episodes. That's actually something that I created specifically for the podcast, which is also available to listen to. If you go to your favorite music streaming platform and type in ZapCristal, you will actually find the Reset and Zap podcast album where all the tracks that I created for the podcast are available to listen to at your leisure. I've also been responsible for our transfer over to the Spotify platform.
Yes.
And linking up that partnership with Spotify. So I'm really proud of myself for pulling that off.
Yes, sir.
And just overall, just assisting with the podcast with my, lately with the new season, I've been stepping in even in the podcast, doing my own segments here and there and stuff like that. So, well, the way things started, hold on. Okay. The way things started was, she'd been wanting to do a podcast forever. And I've been, she's been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it.
Yeah.
And originally it wasn't even like in the cards for me to even be a part of it. She was just talking about it and I was just letting her do a thing. And, I never try to, force myself upon her projects or anything like that. Whatever she wants to do with her project, that's totally fine by me. But I told her that I could assist with audio. I could assist with this and that. And at some point she was just like, you know what? What if we just did the podcast together? And I was like, sure, why not? I would love to. That would be fun. And of course, I already got the audio skills for engineering, but on the podcast side, it's a little different. So I had to, learn a couple new techniques and tricks and stuff like that. But after she decided that she wanted me to be a part of the podcast, that's when we just started coming up with ideas. And, she came up with the name, and then I started working on how we could record it and setting up all the things that we needed to get the podcast launched. And that's pretty much where my side of the story comes in from.
Yeah. So like TJ has explained, I've had this idea of wanting to do a podcast for the longest. It's been currently like probably 2-3 years ago since I've been thinking about the creation of a podcast. Mm-hmm. But of course, coming in as a content creator, I really have no experience nor knowledge of what it's like to host a show in a podcast form, because podcasting is very different from content creation just in general.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It requires so many new skills, so much knowledge of how it works, learning new platforms. I've never been on Spotify, I've never been on Apple or any of these platforms. So, coming in as a newbie was quite a bit of a challenge. Fun fact, originally when I was considering doing this podcast, I was considering doing it more, by myself. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really considering having a co-host. Once I was contemplating the idea of, maybe it would be, right to have somebody on board. I had contemplated the idea of bringing over my brother. So it was originally going to be my brother and I. But, he's not here in Texas. He doesn't live in Texas. He currently lives in the state of Kansas. Mm-hmm. So he's a little far away. So that... Just a little bit, just a little bit, but a couple of hours away. But so distance wise, it was going to be quite a bit of a challenge. Also, technology wise, also was going to be a challenge. Making sure that it was going to run smoothly. So I was like, you know what, this is not a good idea. So let me just put it on pause, let it simmer. We're gonna see where we go from there. And when you stepped into my life, and you opened me up to this world of music once again. I had contemplated. I was like, well, you know what? He does this for a living. So, who better than him to understand how audio works? I can make him step in as an audio engineer and take care of those things for me, since he already had the experience. So, I shared with you the idea of I wanted to do a podcast, but I needed that support. I needed that backup for things that I can't manage by myself or on my own. And you said, yeah. But like you mentioned, we haven't discussed anything at that point of you becoming part of the show.
Oh, not at all. Not at that point.
I was literally in the baby face because I didn't even know what I was going to name the podcast or the idea behind it. So it was funny because one day I was playing Animal Crossing and I had to create a cafe. And while I was creating this coffee shop, they always give you the opportunity to name the buildings. And I was like, you know what? What is one thing that I do when I go to a coffee shop? And it is, I like to relax. I like to sip on a cup of joe, and I like to reset. And all of a sudden, I had that idea. I was like, oh, reset. That would be a cool idea. So I called the building Reset. And I was like, babe, I know I want to do something with this word, reset, because reset means so much for me, because that was literally what's going on that year. I was resetting from everything. I was starting all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know, one day it's going to hit. One day it's going to hit. And, he always wins me over with food. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And he invites me over for one of our dates, our little couple dates. He's like, you want to have breakfast with me? You want to go to Crackle Barrel? And I'm like, bro, you know me. You know me.
He likes to eat.
I love to eat. And Southern cooking, I cannot say no to some good old Southern food,
No, not at all.
So we went to Crackle Barrel, and we had a lovely breakfast. And all of a sudden, me out of nowhere, being Zap, I stop everything I was doing. And I'm like, babe, I know the name. I know what the podcast is going to be. And you were like, what? What? What are we talking about?
Yeah, because it was completely random.
It was completely out of the blue.
Yeah. I think I was eating my pancakes at the time or something.
Out from pancakes, we ended up talking about the podcast. And you looked at me, you're like, so what's the name? And I'm like, Reset and Zap. Reset and Zap is the name of the show. And then I was so nervous at that point because I felt like I was asking him to marry me. Because all of a sudden I get hit with the idea of, well, why don't I have him on board? He can be my co-host. Like, what better way than my husband, to be on board in my show? And I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be like kind of awkward. But, I was wondering, you could say no if you don't want to. I was so nervous, guys. But I was like, do you want to be my co-host? And you, of course.
I was like, what took you so long to ask me? What took you so long to ask me? Like, I've been waiting. I'm ready. Because honestly, we used to... like when we used to go around and run errands or we were going out or whatever, we would have these car drives. And we would just be driving to wherever we're going that day. And all of it, for some reason, we didn't have the radio on or no music on or something.
Yeah.
And we would just have these long, drawn-out conversations about just random stuff, about gaming, about life, about being a content creator, about
everything, yeah.
Chicken versus hot dogs or whatever, what I'm saying? Like
chicken and waffles.
Like whatever it was, hamburger versus chicken burger or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This is the podcast. This is the podcast right here. Just those conversations that we have in the car, just these random like content creator or video games or just random linguistics stuff or whatever the case may be. Like that is what the podcast is. Just us just going back and forth like we do in the car. Like we would be in the car for like a good hour and just talking.
We're like, we're already here? Wow.
Exactly. So yeah, especially like when we're going like to a con or something, like we would have those long. I remember we had a really good one. We went to was it Houston?
Classic Game Fest.
Was that Houston or was that
the one in Austin?
Austin, yeah, Austin. We had a real like. I was like, that's the pod. This is what the podcast should be, and pretty much that's what it is. Like us having those conversations that we would normally have any day. We just put a camera in front of it.
Yeah. So then when I came up with the name, I told TJ I had this idea. I said, look, I want to do something very different compared to other podcasts with people I've listened to out there. And I was like, I want music. I want music for each one of my segments. I want my podcast to have segments. And I wanted to have a theme. And you were like, oh, so what is it going to be? How are we going to put this together? And I remember pulling out an item from my collection and telling you that
Old purple durple.
my good old girl,
Purple durple.
my purple VCR, my favorite item out of my entire collection that I'm probably never going to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to use my VCR as an inspiration for what the podcast is going to be. Hence the name of the segments, because it was
Play.
after my VCR.
Play, stop, pause, rewind,
Fast forward, record.
yeah.
So everything, that you guys now know as our segments is really from my good old purple VCR, which is funny because the original logo that was designed had my VCR
Yes, it did.
on the logo. And yeah, so from there I started talking to him. We were back and forth of the type of music that I wanted for the podcast, and I told him, look, I want this, this good old like 50 like oldies, like lo-fi, chill, something that you can bop to, but you can still pay attention and immerse yourself in the conversations that we're going to have on this podcast and in this show. And I'm going to pass it to you because you're the one that created the music. So you want to explain how was your creative process for the music?
Basically, I just wanted to make tracks that kind of invoked the feeling of whatever that segment was. Like a very good example of that is the play segment, like where it sounds a little more video gamey. It kind of has like those 8-bit chiptune sounds, like like it just has more that 8-bit retro video game sounds to it.
Yeah.
So like that's the play segment. That makes sense. Spotlight, I wanted something that was kind of more like somber, more like just thinking about, because I don't know why when you said spotlight, it just invoked this image of just us on a stage and just lights are coming down, and but the room is so dark you can't really see anything else. So like I wanted
an auditorium.
Yeah, like an auditorium or something like that. And
Yeah.
I wanted like a track to kind of like invoke that feeling. So I went with something like really soft and somber and stuff like that. So that was pretty much my thought process, is how can I invoke the feeling of that segment with the music. And then with the intro, the actual intro and theme song is very interesting, because the way I came up with it, it was honestly a joke. Like I was like making the track for the intro theme song or whatever, and I was just in there singing. I was like, and then she was looking over there, she was bobbing, she was like, oh. And I'm over there joking, playing around, not even taking it seriously. I'm like, I see that bop over there. Anytime I can get her to bop, I know I'm on to something. So I'm like, you know what? We about to turn this into an actual intro theme song, because I don't even think we planned to even have an intro theme song.
No, I wanted a jingle.
You wanted a jingle, but you didn't say nothing about a theme song.
Yeah, exactly.
Like having a full-blown like song.
No, that was an afterthought. Yeah, that was definitely an afterthought.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so we just started cooking it up, and she liked it, and it became the iconic intro that people know to this day.
Everybody sings, let me tell you, because every time we go to a con, the first thing they do is sing the Reset and Zap theme.
That's when I knew we were on to something, because we went to that con, somebody came up to me, and before even said anything about Master Sword music, they were like, I just need a reset. It's like I became known for being your co-host on the podcast. I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
It was, yeah.
And that was only, I think, around like end of season 1, beginning of season 2.
We were starting.
So it was still pretty early, and people were already catching on to it. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
And not only were you in charge of the music, but I also wanted you to be in charge of the sound effects. So, all the sound effects that we have.
Oh, yeah, for the segment transitions.
Highlights the segment. Like one of my favorites is the coin that
Oh,
we
yeah, for
play.
play. It's an arcade coin drop.
Yeah, it's a little arcade. So it's like those little touches for each segment. And for you guys, you guys don't really fully understand, but when I designed the segments, I designed them with an idea behind it, and I thought it would be really cool to kind of break down what each segment means for those that don't know.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. Go for it.
So we have our rewind segment. So for those that are wondering, in rewind, we either expand on topics we piggyback on previous events or previous discussions that we've had, and we just kind of deep dive into those, discussions. So that's really what Rewind is about when we want to recap something. For Chef Kiss is just a thing that I used to do live during my live streams, and I've pretty much been known for it. So we were like, okay, it's not really part of the VCR, but for those that have been long enough in the community, they're gonna know what it means.
Exactly.
And Chef
Easter
Kiss,
egg.
Exactly. So Chef Kiss is basically just talking about really good topics.
Yeah.
Those that just
Something that we really, really like. Something that's really, really good. Whether it be a
Really.
really good video game, a really good chicken sandwich.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Finally, did you admit chicken sandwich?
No.
Okay, whatever. And then for Pause, it's more about where we do either advertising, because sometimes we have to announce some really cool things that are going on in our communities. So we want you guys to get the first scoop. So, Pause is for that. And we also take advantage to reveal either hidden gems that we're currently enjoying right now that we want people to know about, some behind the scenes, and much more. For Fast Forward, it's pretty much straightforward, no puns intended, because we inform any upcoming projects, any events that may be going on, any announcements, any special announcements. That's what Fast Forward is, because like I always like to say, we need to pay some bills.
Some bills.
That's what Fast Forward is for. And Play, it's a gaming segment. So
And the funny thing with Play is kind of transformed a little
Yeah.
bit. Because originally Play was us just talking about video games in general. Like that was like our video game in the original. I think it was only in season 1.
yeah, no, the original idea was a gaming segment. Yeah.
But it kind of transformed into us playing games, like little games that I created for us to play. So season 3 has kind of transformed what the Play segment has become. And I kind of like where we're going with the new Play segment
You
now.
killed it. You've done pretty good. Yeah, I told him in season 3 that I wanted him to be more involved, and when it comes to like researching and with the creative ideas, and I was like, you're more than welcome to bring in anything you feel like is much needed in the podcast, and you pretty much taken over the Play segment.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
For Stop, it's all about news. We're gonna stop and bring you the latest news. It also means ranting. Okay.
Yeah.
When we got a hot take, Stop is for it.
Yeah, like when I want to talk about how much Elden Ring sucks.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, like if I say I wanted to say that like Elden Ring is a terrible game and nobody should play it, that would be a good one for that. Just
All right, moving on.
I'm just trying to describe to them what it is so they could get a better understanding.
Like One Piece Odyssey. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Perfect example. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, why do we do this every single time? And then
Elden Ring sucks.
For our reset, it is of course the main segment of the show, because after all, the show is called Reset and Zap. So Reset is our main segment, the main discussion of the show.
The burger of the
And
podcast, as we like to call it.
Oh God, okay, yeah, all right, okay. And then moving on, Record is our newest segment.
Yep, the new segment for season 3, right?
Our newest baby that we brought into season 3, and it is all about the community. It is a segment where we highlight the community's responses, and we get to interact with everyone.
Oh yeah, those have been really fun. I hope we do a lot more of those in season 4. I'm looking forward to those. Those have been absolutely fun.
So those have been the segments that I've created for it, and to kind of summarize what Reset and Zap is in a nutshell, it's basically me sharing my own journey as an individual, as a content creator, as a mom, as a wife, as your best friend. So it's me just recounting things that have happened in my life, and above all, and most importantly, is documenting my growth as a human being. So at the same way as I'm going through this journey and resetting a lot of times to get things right, I want you guys to be a part of the journey and give yourself a hard reset, or maybe a soft reset, but always reset and start off your week in a good way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
You did a good job with that.
So anything else you want to add when it comes to the creation of the podcast? Like, where do you see us going?
I do have something I want to say, but something you're probably not going to expect.
Okay.
I want to say thank you.
For what?
for allowing me to be a part of this podcast. This is actually, it's nice to be able to do something outside of what I normally do. Like everybody who knows, like my channel is all about music, gaming and music. That's pretty much what my channel is. And I've tried on occasions to like branch out and do like skits or different kind of stuff, but they never really work or take off. People just want to hear music from me. So this is the first time.
Shut up and make music.
Shut up. Give us a new. When is the new remix coming out? When is the new album coming out? Like,
give me more Zelda.
Yeah, I need some more. Like that's pretty much all people want to hear from me. So it's nice to be a part of something that I get to do. Kind of something different, and I get to talk about things that I normally don't get to talk about and do things that I normally don't get to display that different side of me. And I think it's really helped on the other end with the music. Like I feel like being a part of this podcast has increased people's interest in the music because now they can get more of the background on me, and now they're interested in the music and what I do and all the things that I've put together. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this podcast. I truly enjoy doing it. Like this is some of the most fun I think I've ever had, and to be able to do it with a woman that I love who looks like that is amazing. It's amazing to be able to do a show with a woman like this, and to also know that I'm married to her. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Somebody's scoring some brownie points. Okay.
I'm not even trying to. Like it's just the truth. Like I'm sitting here right now. Like you are like, for those of you who don't understand, like before me and her got together, I was a fan. Like I started off as a fan of ZapCristal.
It's the ongoing joke.
Like I was a true fanboy.
Yes,
okay.
you were. Yes, you were.
And to now just be sitting here, it's like, wow, I am doing a podcast with ZapCristal. This is crazy. How did my life make this turn? You know what I'm saying? Like this is insane that I'm sitting across from the ZapCristal doing a podcast and I'm married to her. Like this is this is an alternate universe where things just went different. You know what I'm saying?
What's cool about the Reset and Zap podcast is that every season I've tried to make it the experience level up. Like I'm always trying to level up the experience for you guys. So I'm always thinking about this baby, like how is it going to grow alongside with me? So if you've noticed for season 1, season 2, season 3, I've always like tweaked the thumbnails. I've always made different styles. There's always a theme going on. There's always a little perk, a little inside joke going on in the podcast. From the VCR, we changed into our now famous and well-known green couch,
the green couch. Yeah.
And that became part of the main logo now for the podcast. So, the podcast has evolved so much over time that it's really interesting to go back and see where we started and where we are heading now. So
yeah, we even got a neon sign, bro.
We even got a neon
sign. It says Reset and Zap.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's cool. It's cool. And now to say that the very last day of 2024, entering 2025, one of my biggest dreams of becoming monetized and being able to open up the opportunities and the possibilities for the podcast has finally come true with now being able to partner with Spotify. Like, that's insane because it's such a new show. Like we barely have done like what? How many episodes have we done?
It's 12. So this would be episode 24, 20, 36.
36 episodes?
12 episodes per season.
You know how long it takes for other podcasts to even get like noticed? Yeah. To be noticed in the public spotlight? Like, I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown where we at. But I think the most important thing for me is that I'm able to talk about things that are not just about gaming. That's what I love about this podcast. That, don't get me wrong, I love gaming. I love being a gamer. And I could talk about games all day.
So proud to be a gamer with Senyang Bless.
Oh, yeah. That's your national.
Yeah, I can sing that one. I can sing that one.
You can sing that one. You're not going to give that one away. But it's really, I don't know. I'm like speechless. I just don't have words. All I'm trying to say is it's nice to be able to be here and talk about things that matter the most to me and not just about games.
Yeah.
And that's RNZ in a nutshell.
Yes, it is.
Are you ready to fume so we can finally reveal? So what we're going to do is, we've never done this before. Mm-hmm. But for the first time, we're going to merge 2 segments in one.
Say what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work in post-production.
Yeah, especially since I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but we're going to merge Reset and Play together.
Reset and Play?
Yeah. So we're going to do our favorite episodes.
So this is the replay episode?
Yeah. Oh my God. Are we coming up with a new segment?
Yeah, replay.
Replay. Oh my God. I love that. To take a note. Take notes, y'all, because this might show up.
You're married to a rapper, so I'm good with words, okay?
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick countdown of 3 episodes that stood out to us for season 3. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to jump into Content Creator Chronicles.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So can I pume now? And then
Yes, you can pume.
I can do the pume?
You can do
I can do it?
Okay, get ready.
Okay.
All right.
3, 2, pume.
Pume. All right, TJ. I don't know if you're ready like I am, but it is time for a reset.
I just need a reset. Reset.
I just need a reset.
Trying to show off.
Reset.
Always showing off.
All right, guys. So get ready. I want you to comment below what has been one of your favorite episodes from season 3. We're going to keep it nice and short because it's season 3. So, I thought it would be fair to share 3 episodes.
Okay.
3 and 3. We're going to go back and forth.
Okay.
And just give me a short summary of why. Why is it your favorite episode?
Okay. One of my favorite episodes is Let's Play Content Creator Chronicles.
Okay.
It was my first solo segment. And so, of course, it's special to me because it's the first time I got to step out and host a little bit. So that was really fun. And it just turned out really well. Like the way that the Content Creator Chronicles game went, it was really smooth. It was really just seamless. It felt like it was just always been a part of the podcast, even though it was brand new. So I just really enjoyed how that episode went. And I think that was a classic episode for me.
Okay. For me, it's going to be... one that we just dropped recently is If You Could Go Back in Time.
That's actually one of mine too.
Oh, well then, there we go.
There you go. We can just, you do you and I'll talk
Okay,
later.
for me, it was because one of the things that I enjoyed is all the stuff we do before we press record. And we kind of went on a tangent. And it was just all over the place. It was one of those episodes that you were like, you'll end up sitting back and being like, what?
What just happened?
What just happened? What was she even talking about? What? Yeah, it's one of those episodes. I really did enjoy it quite a bit.
Actually, pretty much the same thing that I had to say. That episode, we kind of just went off the rails. It was fun. We just had a lot of fun that day. And it's just one of those things where it just makes me, one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this podcast, because it's just fun. And just those moments that I'm glad we get to capture and share with the world, because this is pretty much how we are every single day.
Every single day. Another one that I enjoyed, because as much as I love, I feel like the Reset and Zap podcast is really well balanced, because we have our lighthearted, funny moments, but then we have our more serious discussions that we go into that more introspective, And one of those was the discussion that we had about. What was it called? Oh my God. You guys, I forgot. Because we had so many episodes.
Yes.
Oh, what is cancel culture?
Oh, okay.
And how it affects digital platforms. So I really did enjoy it because it was my first mini essay. I really did a lot of research behind this.
Yes, you did.
And you had no idea. So I was just pretty much just exposing my point of view in regards to this topic that is so relevant nowadays, and just seeing you react to it.
Yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed that episode as well. My third one, since you took my second one,
Okay.
is what I hate about content creation. And the reason why I love that episode, not because the topic was very, very interesting, but that is not even the real reason why I love that episode. The reason I love that episode is how much the community really came out. I was surprised how many people, because when I put that question out on Twitter, I wasn't expecting to get a lot of responses. But a lot of our big content creator friends came out, and everybody was Illblur dropped some comments, 1,000 star, do you nerd? Everybody from the community really came out to answer that question, and that made that episode really special, because it felt like the community was really a part of that episode. So that's probably why it is definitely my favorite episode of this season.
And number 3 for me is community hot takes in gaming. I'm going to be biased. Every time we have a gaming episode, I got to come through.
Oh, yeah.
And this one was so much fun because it was I think it was the first time we had revealed the record segment for the podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And the community just went all out with their hot takes, especially with one being said as Chrono Trigger being boring and overrated. Shout out to y'all.
Don't trigger me.
Yeah. But anyways, it was so good. It was so good to have these talks because, as I've always liked to do, I like to create a safe space so everybody can share their point of view, whether it be negative, positive, meh, neutral, whatever it may be. You know, feel safe to say it out loud and just just have a civilized talk. You know, we're mature individuals. We're mature adults. I think we can handle it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you take it? Did you take it okay over there?
Nah, I was a little upset.
You were a little upset.
I was actually more upset with that one than the Zelda. You would have thought the Zelda one would have been the one that triggered me.
But it was the Chrono Trigger one.
Yeah, because like I don't call mini games perfect, but in my opinion, Chrono Trigger is a perfect game. There's nothing wrong with that game.
All right, TJ,
at all.
Take it to breathe in, breathe out.
Don't get me started.
Breathe
There's
in,
nothing
man.
like Ocarina of Time. Okay, I get it. Like the camera sucks. The Z targeting is kind of awful. Sometimes they don't give you the right directions and tell you where to go. I get it. I still love that game, but I can appreciate the fact that it's flawed. Chrono Trigger has 0 flaws. I will not accept that from anybody.
All right.
Like that triggered me. I ain't gonna lie. During the episode, I had to breathe. I was like, nah, don't do that to my precious Chrono Trigger. All right.
Oh my god, my makeup is gonna get ruined. But yeah, that was a fun episode.
Yes, it was.
All right, enough said. It is time
To play.
to play.
Oh yeah.
Take it away.
You heard the coin? You heard it?
Yeah.
You like the coin? You heard it? Yeah. It already played. It's not that long. You already. This is the return and the finale of Content Creator Chronicles.
Yeah.
Where, for those of you who may not be familiar with this game, this is a little game that we play, a little trivia question game that we play, where I ask questions about being a content creator, and you have to give me a story, not just an answer, but a story about that particular question. And the way we played is I had 8 questions on the board, and she would pick a number between 1 and 8, and I would ask her that particular question.
Is it the one I don't know? So somebody told me I don't know, but it had a way to start it.
What?
You had a way to start it that we had to tell the story, but in a certain way. And like, I don't know about you, but and then we tell the story. I forgot.
I think you lost me. I be making you got to understand when I be doing this stuff, I be making it up as I go.
Yeah,
So
I
I might have said
okay.
something and I don't remember because I was just making stuff up.
Gotcha.
So that's
Because we can't say names. Is what I'm trying to say. Like,
that's a different game.
okay.
You're thinking about I ain't saying no names.
I ain't saying no names.
Yeah, that's a different
That is
game.
the one. Can we combine it?
We can bring that back if some of these questions don't involve people, but we could.
But if it involves people, we can say.
We could do it. I don't say no names.
I ain't saying no names.
Yeah, that was a different game we played on that other episode.
Okay. Sorry.
Where you have to tell a
I thought it
story.
was the same thing. Sorry.
You have to tell a story. It's either funny, messed up, or messed up and funny, but you can't say the name of the person you're talking about.
Okay.
So that was that game.
Sorry.
And anyway, as I was saying, there were 8 questions. You take 4, and then I would take the remaining 4, move them to the next game, and then add 4 more.
Okay.
So now we have 8 more questions that were not answered throughout the year. And matter of fact, yeah, there was 8 that you didn't answer.
Yo.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm gonna throw a curveball. You ain't gonna see this coming. Instead of originally, I was gonna go through all of these questions,
Yeah.
but instead, you know what I'm gonna do?
Okay.
We're gonna play it just like we normally would play. It's 8 questions. Give me a number 1 through 8. We're gonna do 4 of them.
Okay.
And then the next 4 questions are gonna be the first Content Creator Chronicles for season 4.
Ooh, I like that. I like it.
And you have no choice in the questions that time. So you're gonna answer all 4 of those questions.
In season 4.
Beginning of Content Creator
Oh
Chronicles.
my God. Okay.
How does that feel?
I'm excited. I'm excited to know that it's gonna continue.
Yeah. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give me a number. Matter of fact, I'm gonna save those 2. Give me a number 1 through 6.
5.
5. Okay. 1, 2,
I'm
3,
so
4,
nervous.
5.
Why am I nervous?
Question number 5 is: what is your biggest regret from content creation? I'm sipping this tea a little bit.
Are we about to spill some tea today? Woo!
Kick it off. What was your biggest regret?
I ain't saying no names. But once upon a time, I had a collab with someone, and in the eyes of this individual, I was nothing but eye candy to help boost their content.
I mean, you do look good, so.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah.
And we got some invites to some cons.
I think I know where this is going. I'm gonna not look at the camera.
And one of the event managers, I'm trying to be serious, y'all, I can't. One of the event managers canceled the invite. And there was a controversy involving this individual that wasn't benefiting the community. And by association, it unfortunately got canceled. Not because of me, of course, not because of me. I mean, the person was fine with me, but because of this other individual, it didn't mesh well for the retro gaming community. So that was one of my biggest regrets, because it was a con that I was always looking forward to being a part of, and I wasn't able to. But you know what? I thank God right now, because if I want to have a good impression and what we call first experience.
Yeah, first impression.
I would have wanted it in correlation with another creator. But I ain't saying no names.
I ain't saying no names.
Biggest regret.
My biggest regret from content creation. It's funny because actually me and Thousand Star were actually talking about this the other day. So he's going to know exactly who and what I'm talking about. But I did it. It's also funny enough, that also has to do with a collaboration.
Oh, okay.
So
you ain't saying no name?
I'm not saying no names.
You ain't saying no name.
I'm not saying no names, but I did a collaboration with a certain Twitch streamer. And during this collaboration, I kind of was trying to prove a point. I had become frustrated with the music industry and how things were going and how everything is so cookie cutter, how everything is so copy and paste. So to prove a point, I made a song that was copy and paste. I literally took something else, copied it, changed it into my style, just to see how well it would do. And if my theory was correct on what makes popular music popular. And unfortunately, I was absolutely correct. And that song absolutely took off. And to this day is the most viewed video on my channel. So if you follow my channel, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, I was very disappointed with how well that song did, because I purposely crafted it to do so, and it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel organic. I knew what was going to happen. I planned for it to happen, and ever since I've done that, I've never done anything like that ever again. Like anything else I do is going to be my original creation, no copy and pasting, no stealing nobody else's style. I'm going to do it my way, and if nobody likes it, then that's totally fine by me. But it really hurt my heart to see what music had become from a business standpoint. Gotcha. Like if I wanted to get into the music, like I'm into music, I'm not into the music business. And I took a step into the music business, and I didn't like how it made me feel. So I'm going back to just being about music, and you can take that business somewhere else.
And this Twitch streamer can stay and being a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, that's totally fine. No hate, no nothing like that, but it's just not what I want my music to be remembered for. Like I don't want that to be like, oh, remember that? I remember that. He did that one song that nobody remembers anymore, but it was really popular. I don't want that to be me. I want my legacy of work, my whole body of work to be what I'm remembered for. So that is my biggest regret.
Okay.
All right, so let me take off number 5.
All right, so can I choose another one right now? Okay, so 1 through 6.
1 through 6, but no 5.
All right, so number 2.
Number 2. Oh, this is actually an interesting one. Number 2 is, what would you consider your target audience?
It's really interesting. It's really interesting, the journey of what is a target audience, because every time you think you know who that avatar is, it always changes. And I think it has a lot to do because I change so much and my content has evolved so much over time. So, like, for example, when I started YouTube in my early years, my target audience was other families because the content involved, family activities, family dynamics with their kiddos and stuff like that. So that was my avatar during that time. Later on, because this is attributed obviously to gaming, so retro gaming, modern gaming, retro collecting, then my target audience surprisingly was all male, like 100% was male. And I mean, it's obvious because in the gaming space where I got myself initiated in, which is retro collecting, it is dominated by men. So a lot of men would watch my content. It's not really typical of seeing a woman collecting. It's not uncommon now, but when I started back then, it was. And
it's still not as prevalent as
Yeah.
as men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are more women doing it now, but it's not like it's 50-50 or anything.
No, absolutely not. And I think till
at
this
best
day,
I
it's
say
still
80-20.
Yeah, and if you're even lucky. Yeah.
I say at best 80-20. 80% men, 20% women.
So gaming has been like my male audience is always coming through, but
Which is really funny because the podcast audience is the exact opposite.
What I was about to bring up right now.
Do your thing, my bad.
Because no, you're good. I'm glad you brought it up because that's exactly where I'm heading towards. When it comes to the podcast now and my recent content on my channel, it has been a shift. Like on YouTube, it's been kind of like you've said, it's been 80-20. So I've definitely had the female audience coming through now. And but when it comes to the podcast streaming platforms, the majority of the audience is females.
Yep, 60-40.
It is crazy.
I checked the stats not too long ago and it's 60-40.
And then the other interesting thing, which has always been a thing with my content, but I've been seeing it more and more, is that, you always have your usual, when it comes to the age group demographics, you have your 20s to 30 something, your 40 to I think 50 something that always comes through, the people like us, our age.
Yeah, because I'm old.
But I'm also attracting the kiddos. Because then we have our teenagers, people that are still under 18 and a little bit over
under,
18.
You had like 10%, I want to
like
say?
10%. So I have 10% of my audience is the more younger people.
Yep, 0 to 17. I believe it was around 10%. I remember
yeah,
correctly.
so it has changed drastically over time. And we actually had this discussion not too long ago about what my theory might be about the younger kids. And my theory is that I've always been able to connect with other families who have kiddos that look up to me.
Yeah.
And I've always have felt responsible of creating a space that is safe for them too, which is family-friendly content. Because I know a lot of these kiddos watch my videos with their parents. So I'm always trying to set that example because a lot of them now are actually contemplating the idea of jumping into content creation. So I wanted to create among the noise that we have, in the gaming space, some positive influence, for them, a positive role model that can show them, hey, there is still a good way to initiate yourself within the gaming space without having to do all these things that you're seeing on social media, because not everything you see on social media is true at the end of the day.
Yeah, facts.
So, yeah, I at least I think that might be, that's my theory behind it.
Me, I was sitting here thinking about it because when I got these questions, I literally grabbed these questions from a couple of different sites that had content creator questions.
Gotcha.
So I didn't actually think about these questions myself. That way I could give an off-the-cuff response myself. I kind of just write them down, number them, and then move on. And while you were talking, I was actually sitting here trying to think of an answer. And honestly, when I first started doing YouTube and stuff, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know nothing about target audiences or age demographics or, statistics and all that stuff. You had to teach me a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I did not even know what half of those numbers meant. I'm like, what is watch time per hour, per day, per second on Tuesday with your shoes off while drinking coffee? Like, I'm like, what? I don't know what in the world is going on there. But so in my mind, I actually didn't have any idea what my target audience. I was just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what stuck. Over time, as I started learning these things and seeing what my numbers are, I can tell you what my target audience is. I just can't tell you why. I have no idea. But for some reason, my when it comes to gender demographics, it's usually pretty even. It's usually about 50-50. It's pretty close. I think I have slightly more men than I have women. It might be like 55, 45, 55, 50, something like that. But age groups are kind of all over the place, but mostly around my age group. I say somewhere between mid-20s to late 40s.
Okay.
That's where most of my, according to my numbers, that's what it says.
Good range. It's
Yeah.
good range. Yeah.
But as far as for me, what I was specifically targeting myself was just other gamers. Like, it's just, I wanted people who could appreciate the lyrics on a deeper level. Because like I've said several times, with my music, even if you're not a gamer, you can still listen to it and appreciate it. But if you are a gamer, then you get an extra layer of enjoyment out of it because you'll understand more of what I'm saying than most people will. So that's why I say I make music for gamers, because even if you're not a gamer, you can listen. But if you are a gamer, then you're gonna get that extra little sauce on it. You're gonna, you're gonna get the extra seasoning that most people ain't gonna. They ain't know. It's like having a chef taste something and they like, oh, that got cinnamon and sugar. I can taste all that stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a gamer, you're gonna be able to get all those flavors in there because you're gonna understand a lot more. So like that is what I was going for personally. So that's pretty much all I can really say about that one.
Do you feel like you've accomplished that? Like you actually been attracting
Honestly,
other gamers?
I have been, but funny enough, I think that a large majority of my audience are not gamers. Or at least not as far as I can tell. Like, cause like of course there are people who are gamers in there, but there are some people in there who I know from their content don't do anything about gaming.
But they enjoy your music.
But they still listen to the music and they still enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like, I have people come through my channel that do makeup tutorials. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, I don't, like, it's kind of really weird and random, the audience that I get. So it's just like, you know what? I just let it be whatever it is. Whoever.
People that actually are there for the music. They enjoy your music.
People enjoy music. And that's the cool thing about music is that I can listen to music in a different language that I don't even understand and enjoy it. You know? I can listen to, in Spanish, I do understand a lot of Spanish, but like French or something. I can listen to a song that's in French and still enjoy it. I can listen to a song in German and still enjoy it if it's a good song. Music kind of transcends language and all those different barriers.
It's
and everything.
universal.
Yeah, it's like no matter what kind of music no matter what you do, no matter what you like, everybody can say, oh, I like this song, even for different reasons. But that's pretty much it for me. I was just kind of just going for it.
How many remaining?
You need 2 more.
Okay, 2 more. All right.
So we have
1 through 6.
1 through 6. We already done 2 and 5.
2 and 5. All right, let's go to, you know what? Let's go to number 6. Why not?
Number 6. Why did you choose the kind of content you create? Anytime? Because I can go into mine. Mine's
All right, I'm ready.
Mine's is pretty easy.
I'm ready.
Go.
Fun fact, I did not choose it. It chose me.
I didn't choose this life. It chose me.
It chose me. No, like jokes aside, that's actually how it was. Because I had no intention whatsoever to talk about gaming openly as much as I do nowadays. Mainly because as a female, it still wasn't seen well in this space, you know. And it was relatively new. I think now it's normal because you see it kind of has balanced out. So now you see more females in the gaming space doing reviews, doing gameplays, doing streaming. You know, it's a little bit more typical and more normal, but like when I started, it was still pretty brand new. And it was almost like a way like you had to prove yourself in the space because people were very skeptical. Like, oh, are you a gamer? How much do you know about gaming? You know, it's all those things, which is unfortunate, but I understand this space. So when I started doing it, it was due to my collection. I wanted to start collecting, and within the retro collecting scene, it involves networking. So you have to get involved with other people that enjoy the same thing you're doing. And by, you know, connecting with these people and networking is how I got immersed more and more into the world of gaming. So I was like, you know what? I'm just doing this on a day-to-day basis. So why not just document it? Why not document, my journey as I'm building my collection. And like, once you know it, I just started talking about games. I started talking about things that I enjoy in the gaming world, and people started resonating with it and connecting with me, and well, here we are, But it's really cool though, because I think that actually has helped me in the long run, because I haven't put gaming as like my main point and my main focus, even though it seems that way. It has made it easier for me to be able to evolve and transition into other areas and in other spaces, because now people connect to me not because of games or the content that I create, but because they vibe with me as a person. So, it's really cool that now I'm able to just experiment and create outside of gaming, because people rock with me.
Sounds good. Mine's is pretty simple. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in a family full of musicians. Everybody in my family plays some kind of instrument or sings or does something on a musical level. So music has been a part of my life since I came out the womb, literally. Like, I think the first instrument I ever picked up was the drums. And I think I started playing drums when I was like 4.
Which is so exciting. I cannot wait. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah.
But something soon is. Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Come soon. Yeah. I'm so happy for you.
I can't wait. Oh, God, I can't wait.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway.
I can't wait to make this announcement, y'all. One day. Not yet. Okay. But so music has always been a part of me. Like, it's always, matter of fact, it was to a point where I didn't even know, like, I didn't even understand that there were people in the world who could do music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought it's something that everybody did, because literally every single person in my family had some kind of musical ability.
So it was normal.
Yeah, so when I went to school and stuff, started going to school and started meeting other people, I started to realize that, oh no, this is like special. Like, people look at me and be like, how did you do that? Like, how can you do that? How can you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. It's like, I was literally born into it. So once I started realizing that people really like see that as a skill, I was like, man, I really want a way to showcase that. And before I even did anything with gaming, I actually did other music. I did, just your regular, not gaming references music at all. And unfortunately, that group that I was with at that time, everybody kind of just went their separate ways. Everybody got older. This was more like in my teenage years, and like a little bit, I would say probably from like 15 to like 22, 23, something like that. And unfortunately, that group kind of went their separate ways. And everybody divided up. So at that point, I didn't produce. I had a producer who did all the music for me, so I didn't know how to produce. Gotcha. I had an engineer who, did all the engineering for the audio, so I didn't know how to audio engineer.
So you were basically what, just an artist?
I was just an artist. All I did was write the music. Like, somebody would give me a beat, I would write the lyrics, and then I would perform it.
So you were a songwriter.
That's it, songwriter and performer. Pretty much it.
Okay.
Where now is I do everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do the music videos, I do the editing. Yeah. So once that happened, I actually stepped away from music for a long time. Like, I would make stuff for me and myself, but never really put anything out. And one of those days, I was just messing around with some video game stuff, and I was like, it was the Legend of Zelda main theme. The Legend of Zelda main theme, of course, my favorite game of all time, the Master Sword music, blah, blah, blah. And I made a remix for the original theme, and Thousand Star actually brought this up the other day. And then once I did that, I created a song that I unfortunately lost the original video for, but it was a song called Video Games. And I was just literally just me rapping about video games. Like, that's pretty much what it was. And when I created that was my very first video that I ever created. And I was like, man, what am I going to do with this? Like, I have to do something with this. Like, I had no intentions of even putting it on YouTube at that point. But then that's when I started thinking, because at that time I was watching a lot of YouTube. And I was seeing a lot of people like just doing all this YouTube stuff. I was like, this YouTube thing is kind of cool.
YouTube thing is kind of kicking off.
Yeah, like, I was late to the game. Like, when I say I was late to the YouTube game, I was super late. But I saw all these people just putting out their stuff and just getting people to watch it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just started putting myself out there. And, knowing what I know now, I was super duper lucky. Because knowing what I know now, like, when I was just posting stuff up there and just posting it. And then I didn't have a social media channel. I didn't have, I wasn't on Twitter, Instagram, nothing. Like, I just threw a video up on YouTube one day and people started watching.
You know what's funny? And it's kind of like your story.
Yeah.
I've never shared this live.
Okay.
which I'm not going to take too long, but it's like you have unlocked a memory.
Okay,
now.
memory unlocked.
Yeah, memory unlocked. When I started YouTube, I didn't want to start YouTube. It wasn't even for me. I had actually gotten, I was commissioned to start a YouTube channel for someone else. And it was going to be a religious channel because the person was going to, preach. And they obviously weren't too tech savvy, so they needed help. And I started researching for them to try to help them build a channel. And once you know it, long and behold,
You started your own channel.
I started my own channel. But I never started with the intention that I wanted to start a YouTube channel.
Same.
It's
Literally
crazy,
the same.
isn't
it?
it?
It was never my intention. I just was trying to find a way to put what I had created out there, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do it.
I'm so proud of you.
And then YouTube like I said, I was watching a lot of YouTube. Like this was like that old YouTube era. Like this is like your peanut butter gamers.
They started rating and everything.
Yeah, like all the like those old YouTube heads, like Matt Pat. You know what I'm
Cat
saying?
videos.
Like yeah, like that old school YouTube.
Old
and
school.
I was like, this is actually really cool. So I put stuff up there and not knowing what to do, I just put it up there and got lucky.
When you jumped into it, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Do you remember any memes that involved an orange? It was like a bunch of videos. It was basically an orange, but somebody put their face on it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that. That was actually that was before I started putting stuff up there.
Yo.
That was before I started putting stuff
So
up there.
way back.
Yeah, because like I said, I was late to the game. My first channel was only because before I had Master Sword Music, I had another channel that was called TJ the Gamer, which was just me and my music. And that channel was only like 6 years ago at the most.
Wow.
Like Master Sword Music has only been going for like 3 years. It seems like we've been here a lot longer because we've put out so much content in a short amount of time.
Yeah, you're always on a go.
Yeah, like we've
Always
dropped
on the
over
go.
500 videos at this point, like because we drop new videos every single week. And before I transitioned to that, there was a point where I was dropping 2 videos a week.
Yeah.
I used to drop on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays you would get a remix, Thursdays you would get a brand new song, and I did that for like 2 years straight.
And I remember that very clearly because you and I were exchanging messages all the time because I just so happened to be dropping videos, 2 videos a week.
Yeah,
as well.
honestly, that's where I got the idea from.
What?
Was
Are
from
you
you.
for real?
Yeah, because I started seeing that you was just like pumping out content.
It was
like
crazy.
Monday would be a short, Tuesday was a video, Thursday would be a live stream, Wednesday would be a live stream, Thursday would be another video, Friday would be another live stream, Saturday would be another short.
Bro,
you were dropping stuff, you were dropping some kind of content like every single day. And I'm like, yo, there's no way unless I do more, I'm not gonna be seen.
I had the community complain at some point. They were like, yo, it's hard to keep up.
It's too much.
Stop it.
It's too much.
Stop it.
And like I think 2 years ago, I decided to move to 1 video a week. And actually my engagement went up and my view count went up.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's like
when you go back.
like less, you know what I'm saying? Because people get more excited now. Now it's like everybody looks forward to Thursday at 9 a.m. because they know that something is coming. No matter what it is, something's coming. And it gave me more time to work on my projects as well as work with my other artists because when I started Master Sword Music, in the beginning, it was just like me and 2 other guys. Like me, Thousand Star, and my guy Switchbit. Like it was just us 3 for like the longest time. And now, like including myself, I have 6 people now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we've grown so much that now I need more time to manage my artists and help them with their projects. And like I said, we're releasing 4 projects this year. Like my album dropping a remix album, Action Jack's dropping, Thousand Stars. So I need time and we're working on projects for 2026.
Yeah.
So I needed more time. So staggering those releases gave me more time to work on what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And so I just threw stuff out there, and then over time I just started learning stuff. Like it was a random YouTube comment I got that somebody was like, dude, like I can't find you on like Instagram or Twitter or nothing like that. Like where are you? And I was like, I'm not on none of that. And it was like, bro, you
need to hop on it.
You need to really get on something. So I jumped on Twitter. And my Twitter account is my oldest social media account.
It's funny because for me it's the opposite. Twitter is my baby.
And the funny thing is, the only reason.
Oh God, here we go. Are we?
The only reason I even went to Instagram is because I found out that you had an Instagram and I wanted to see pictures of you.
Oh God, stalker. Awkward.
It's the truth. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it a buck because I didn't think you would. Because like from what I saw on Twitter, like you were like you didn't do pictures on Twitter. Like you didn't take pictures of yourself and post them all over Twitter.
Until recently either.
Yeah, like I think I had met you on Twitter like when you first got on Twitter.
I had opened it
because I'd never seen you on Instagram because I didn't have an Instagram. I had only had Twitter. So I only knew you from Twitter. And on Twitter, like you wasn't really doing much on Twitter. Like you would post when your videos were dropping stuff like that, but that was about it. And then somehow I think you posted a link to your Instagram on Twitter or something. And I was like, yo, she got an Instagram? I mean, she got pictures on there. About to get on this.
Moving on.
So then I started getting on the different social medias and started growing and blah, blah, blah to the point where I am now.
Nice.
So I've learned so much along the way, and I'm still learning, still growing, and just doing my thing.
I'm really uncomfortable right now. All right.
Hey, I'm a real one. If there's one thing y'all don't know about me, I'm a real one. All right, I'm gonna be honest about what it is. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what she looked like, so I went to the Instagram to check it out. All right.
Moving on. Okay, this time I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna let you choose my last question.
All right.
I'm gonna let you choose a number.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one to end on, actually.
Okay.
This is a good one to end on. What is one thing you would tell a new content creator in this day and age?
In this day and
in the modern time, right now, somebody comes to you today, it's like, I want to start a YouTube channel. What is the number one thing that I need to know?
Don't be afraid to start. Just start.
Yeah, just do it.
Just start. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you feel like, the bars are high, the expectations are high, for whatever field you choose, I say start, because the problem lies on you, the desire of wanting to start something, but then you're in this paralyzed state where you just can't take the initiative.
Yeah.
And like I've said, 2025 for me, the word of the year, which I've mentioned, is courage. I want to be courageous enough to get the stuff that I need to get done. So that is the word for everyone this year. That if you want to start something, start. Are you going to know what you're doing? Probably not. You're not going to have any idea what you're doing. But you need to start somewhere so you know what you're able to do, what you're capable in doing, and then just build from the ground up.
I'm actually just going to co-sign what you said. Like, that's literally it. Because I literally just talked about it. Like, when I first started YouTube, I had no idea. Like, my first video, there was no intro, there was no outro. It was just a video.
Yeah.
And I just put it up there. And the only thing I would add to that is put out as much content as you possibly can. Just crank it out. Crank it. Do it as much as you can. Because the more you do, the better you'll get at it. And you'll learn more along the way.
It's such a great time. When you start, you don't owe anything to anyone. You don't have to really focus in a certain topic or in a certain niche. Like, it's the perfect time to experiment. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, you're not going to have a lot of people watching you or listening to you. So you don't have that pressure, So go ahead and make mistakes. Take risks. Explore different hobbies.
100%.
Explore different interests. Like, it's the perfect time. Just go ahead. Your first 100 videos or 100 of anything is going to suck, okay?
Yeah.
So you might as well just have fun. And then, who knows? As you're making more and more content, you might start figuring out what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. And you might align yourself in a place that is perfect for you. Or bring to the table something that, it's not even created. Because we always constantly say, oh, it's oversaturated. Everything's been done. Everything's been created. What is there to it? But I say go for it. Like, there might be something that nobody has ever thought about. And you might be the person who might bring that new idea in a new space.
Facts. And the only thing I would add to that is, one, just whatever niche that you choose to do your content on, watch other people in that niche.
Oh, yeah.
Check out what other people are doing in that niche, and that'll help you develop your style and your ideas. Not to copy what other people do, but just so you get an idea of what works in the field and what doesn't work. Yeah. That kind of helps when you watch other people. Like, I watch other music channels all the time just to learn how people do things. You know what I'm saying? Just how they title their videos, how they do their thumbnails. Like, just study the game. Study the game that you're in, and you'll get a lot better at it.
Yeah, please do not fall in the imposter syndrome because, like he said, you might fall into in a false narrative where you feel like you have to be almost like someone else. I've had a lot of people, I hate to say it, in the past that they were inspired by me and they did their research, but then they would kind of like do like a copy and paste content. And the thing is, that's never going to really work because in order for that to work, you have to be that person who you are copying. So I say just be inspired, get ideas, but still bring yourself to the table.
Yeah.
Like be you.
Always.
And do what works for you.
Yeah, and like I said, just keep going. Don't quit. Even when it seems like it's not working, just keep going. You'll get there.
Absolutely. And what a way to end this, y'all.
Perfect.
That was perfect. I had so much fun. And now I'm even more excited in knowing that this is going to continue in season 4. So I ain't saying no name.
Yeah.
But all I know is a little birdie told me this is going to be in season 4.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we gotta definitely do another live episode again. This is really fun. I
really
really enjoy the fact that people are watching us work in our environment. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You could have been doing anything, and yet you chose to sit down and listen to us. So I appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to rate the show, drop your reviews.
Yeah.
It truly, truly helps. Follow us on all of our social media pages to stay informed with what's going on in the Zap community, but also in TJ's world.
Yeah, Master of Music, baby.
I want to remind you guys to always reset and zap
For the what?
for a brand new week.
Ooh, I like that switch up. That was nice. Pew.
Pew.